Welcome to Days at Dogwood Canyon, a nature podcast brought to you by Dogwood Canyon Audubon Center in Cedar Hill, Texas. This is a podcast that will take you into our 200-acre wildlife preserve in the heart of the DFW Metroplex. Take a quick weekly break with us and get outside with the fresh air, the trees, and of course, the birds. My name is Kiersten and I'm Center Coordinator Community Programs here at Dogwood Canyon Audubon Center. Welcome, listeners, to our Days at Dogwood Canyon podcast. This is a podcast about nature, birds, plants, and us. We will talk about how we all rely on each other to live our best lives. A few months ago, we talked about Texas women in conservation. And last week, the 10th annual conference was held honoring those that have come before and those that were honored this year. So I wanted to update you on who received the recognition this year in 2025 and what projects they were involved in. First, a bit of a reminder of what the program is all about. The Texas Women in Conservation program celebrates the vital role women play in Texas conservation and environmental stewardship. Each honoree receives the Terry Hershey Award, named after the late conservationist who dedicated much of her life to ecological conservation efforts in Houston and throughout Texas. Terry Hershey was known as a trailblazer in the field for her fierce advocacy, dedicated volunteerism, and steadfast work to improve the Texas environment. The 2025 honorees embody the spirit of Audubon's mission by protecting working lands, restoring resilient coastal ecosystems, advancing climate solutions, and creating bird-friendly communities. Work that strengthens Texas's connection to the broader conservation efforts across the Americas. 4 women were honored this year. Susan Alvarez serves as Director of Environment and Development at the North Central Texas Council of Governments, where she oversees programs focused on water resources, materials management, regional codes, public works, and climate action. She holds a Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering from Rice University. She is a Texas professional engineer, certified floodplain manager, and Texas master naturalist. Susan brings over 40 years of experience in environmental restoration across Texas, the Pacific Northwest, the Desert Southwest, and Charleston Harbor. She recently contributed as a chapter author for the Southern Great Plains section of the 5th National Climate Assessment and has led key local initiatives, including the Dallas Comprehensive Environmental and Climate Action Plan, the Dallas Urban Forest Master Plan, and the DFW Air Quality Improvement Plan. Susan's work has shaped regional policies and on-the-ground actions that are building more resilient, sustainable communities throughout Texas. Thank you, Susan, and congratulations. Pam Nelson Hart, born in San Antonio, grew up with a deep respect for nature, instilled by her grandparents and parents, artists, science teachers, and conservationists. She holds a Bachelor of Science in Biology from Texas A&M University, whoop, a degree in French Literature and History from the Institut Catholique, and professional training as a licensed massage and physical therapist specializing in brain and spinal cord rehabilitation. Pam has served on the Texas Parks and Wildlife Diversity Advisory Committee, the Texas chapter of the Wildlife Society, the Texas A&M University Press Advancement Board, the Ossabaw Island Foundation Board, the Center for the Advancement and Study of Early Texas Art Board, the Project Coyote Advisory Council, and the Hart Research Institute Leadership Council. Her lifelong commitment to conservation, education, and the arts has made her a respected force for conservation and cultural preservation across Texas and beyond. Keep up the good work, Pam, and congratulations. Ayanna Jolivet McLeod is a 4th-generation Houstonian, where she currently lives and works as Executive Director of Bayou City Waterkeeper. By weaving together environmental advocacy, environmental education, and arts and celebrating the intersectionality of these threads, Ayanna breathes life into the community in new ways. Ayanna creates art that explores the environment through the lens of the African diaspora, weaving in broader themes of memory, geography, spatial studies, and materiality. Her practice is rooted across the Americas, with hemispheric exhibitions and residencies spanning the U.S., Caribbean, and Latin America. Whether advocating for the protection of wetlands, expanding access to the clean water, connecting biodiversity with cultural diversity through outreach programs, or strengthening regional science and policy efforts, Ayana's leadership sparks transformative change. Way to be an inspiration, Ayana, and congratulations. Carolyn Vogel has devoted her life to the land, water, history, and heritage of Texas. Her passion for conservation is deeply personal, rooted in her family's long history of farming and ranching in Gillespie County, where they have maintained a working operation since the 1840s. Today, Carolyn is a Texas farm and ranch real estate agent with Moreland Properties Land and Ranch Division in Dripping Springs. Her previous roles include serving as statewide president of Texas Conservation Connection, founding executive director of the Texas Land Trust Council, and nearly 30-year career at Texas Parks and Wildlife Department. She continues her commitment to conservation through service on numerous boards, including Friends of Lyndon B. Johnson National Historical Park, Texas Alliance of Land Brokers, Native Prairies Association of Texas, and the Hill Country Alliance. Carolyn holds a Bachelor of Science in Creation and Parks Management from the Texas A&M University. Whoop! Her leadership has expanded the reach of private land conservation in Texas, advancing the use of conservation easements as vital tools to protect the state's natural landscapes and working lands for future generations. Thank you so much for thinking of our future, Carolyn, and congratulations. Well, that's a rundown of this year's 2025 Texas Women in Conservation Honorees. Thank you for joining me. And if you'd like more information, I will leave links in the show notes.